Good morning and welcome to Mufc Realist TV. It's day of this live recording, the 15th of May, and Manchester United are playing the final game at Old Trafford today. And there's some news that we're going to share, and the top stories, of course, today. First and foremost, we need to congratulate the under 18s for winning the Premier League, beating Chelsea yesterday with 2-1. So congratulations, massive congratulations for the under 18 as well. And we're going to talk about the exits 100%. We heard about Rafael Varane. He did a sentimental video farewell, and hopefully we're going to see him waving goodbye to the United faithfuls tonight at Old Trafford, but also looming speculations regarding Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's got 1 year left on his contract. Will it be his final game? And also the uncertainty with Erik ten Hag, as Inneos is looking more for a coach than a manager. So it's still uncertain if Ten Hag's going to be there, but I do have a hunch. Will it be Ten Hag's farewell game as well at Old Trafford? Nobody really knows, but also links now coming reporting that no other than Kieran McKenna has been favored by Inneos to sort of replace Ten Hag in that case as a head coach, not as a manager. Kieran McKenna has done fantastically well with Ipswich, promoting them from Championship to the Premier League. So will that be something that we can discuss as well? Also regarding the toss-in, latest on free, and also we're going to talk about no other than Benjamin Sesko, because there were some reports yesterday from Christian Falk to say that his release clause is apparently 70 million euros, which we're going to talk about as well. But please, guys, you know what to do. Please smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, because here we go. Coffee here, guys. You can all see each other in the news. I can see Stressboard Steve is here as well. Big up to you. What's up for you, Mick? What's you saying here, brother? Yeah, I'm good, brother. Like, you know what? Stephanie Griffin, not Steven, sorry, Mick and the VR rooms. I will be joined by Mark Nurse. He's coming in here as well in a few seconds. Mental Ball Game is here. Good morning to you, Mental Ball Game. Yolman Min, what you saying here, my brother? McKenna has been very impressive getting Ipswich from Division 1 to the Prem in 2 years. Yeah, from Division 1 to the Champions League, not the Champions League, the Championship, and now the Premier League in 2 years. That is a stellar performance. And rightfully so. Like, you know, when he took over as an interim, when Ollie got sacked, he was looking a little bit like a scared rabbit. So my thought on that was, yeah, you need to go and sort of, you know, develop your ranks, Karen. Like, you know, there is something special about you. And he found his style 100%. And it's a miraculous, or it's a triumph, it's a trophy in 2 years to promote Ipswich to Premier League. So the question is, will he actually go if he's got an offer from Manchester United? I believe he would. You know, if Manchester United comes knocking on your door, you're an ex-Manchester United legend, you wouldn't say no. Otherwise, if you look at like Rooney, you know, he hasn't really been that successful, like, you know, and you know, he's not the guy, right? But the question is, who is the guy? Yeah, Thomas Tuchel's reports admits that, yeah, you know, Bayern wants him back, but hang on a second. Bayern tried for 5 different managers. They rejected them. They rejected them because they know how crazy they are. And now they're crawling back to the cross, asking Thomas Tuchel to say, please, Thomas, we made a mistake. Would you stay? What would you say if you were Thomas Tuchel? I would not particularly say yes, because I'm a man of pride. If you don't want me, all of a sudden you gone the rounds and made absolutely proud of yourself, and now you want me back. I said no. You know, you let dogs lie, right? You made your bed, lie in it, 100%. So definitely, I want to hear from what you're thinking as well, guys. So, Jamie Wayne, McKenna. No, I'm not moderating today. Enjoy the show, everyone. The club makes me sick. Yeah, listen, Jamie, at the end of the day, final game at Old Trafford, and then we have FA Cup, and then, of course, we have Brighton away as well. So at the end of the day, like, and it is what it is, like, you know, but we still have to stand here Big up to you as well, Stressful Steve as well. We had you on the channel yesterday. What do you say? I think the price was higher than 100 million euros. That was for Frank was mentioning. Frank, I don't know. I don't know. Can you elaborate? Yeah, 70 million. Would that be on Cesco? Triple wages. Yes. Sim, what you are saying, brother. A big thank you for whoever gifted me a membership. Did somebody gift you a membership? I didn't see that. Maybe that was from previous streams. So big up Sim as well. So let's get right into the story, guys. Let's do this. And first and foremost, like we got to talk about the under 18s that miraculously, they've been sensational this season. They were crowned as under 18 Premier League champions after beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge yesterday. That was yesterday's big up for them. Adam Lawrence's side had enough, already won the Premier League North, but this was the final. This was absolutely the final. And apparently, if you continue reading the report, by beating Chelsea 2-1 thanks to goals from Ethan Wheatley and Ethan Williams, the Young Reds secure a qualification in the 2024-25 UEFA Youth League. Guys, this is absolutely amazing. Smashing. We have an amazing academy, and especially the under 18s that we can sort of see already been sitting on Ten Hag's bench. And I'm really excited to see for this summer window, in terms of preseason, who's going to join the tour for USA as well. Who will be joining the USA tour, right? We have amazing academy. I mean, it's arguably say class of 92, but it's the class of 24. And I want to hear from Mark Nurse as well. Mark, are you there, my friend? Big up, Mark. Are you there? Yo, Mark? No, he doesn't have picture. Mark doesn't have picture. Mark, wave to us when you are ready. Let us know, because I want to hear from you as well, Mark, regarding your thoughts as well. But I want to hear from you in the VR and what you reckon. In the meantime, yeah, George Vukovic, what you saying here? Do you think that Brentworth is overrated? Don't want another Maguire. I want to answer that question, but also Jarleman Min is saying that gift happened 2 days ago during Jarvis Corner. Yes, Simpson, that was the gift from Jarvis Corner when you guys couldn't see it, the names. Yes, because Jarle, you had the tabs. I'm still waiting for Mark Nurse. He's on mute. He's on non-video. Mark Davis, what you saying, my brother? Hey, Mick, what about Thomas Frank from Brentford? He was as a new United manager. Whew. Yeah, that was kind of a link that got away from yesterday's news. I like his attitude. I like the way he's setting up a classic 4-3-3 at Brentford. Inneos particularly don't look for world beaters, but I understand they don't want to have, the trophy winners. They just want to have a manager, like a coach, proper head coach. So the management they will do by themselves, like by Wilcox, by Ashworth, by Berada, and all them stuff. They will pretty much set the tone and style of play. So basically, they're just looking for somebody that is they're responsible only for the coaching side. So I think that Thomas Frank has done well at Brentford, basically, from getting promoted to where they are at the moment. Willie Cottet at United. Yeah, I mean, I like his style on the touchline. He's very passionate and aggressive. And so if you look at the past managers that we have, Ollie was just sitting there with his iPad and, not even standing on the touchline. And Ten Hag, I hardly see him getting involved and, shouting and screaming and kicking up a fuss. Every successful manager that you see, Pep Guardiola, they are constantly like a conductor, going like this, and Arteta, and very passionate, and but Ten Hag is a little bit, half. Frank to United, untested, unproven. I don't know. What's your thoughts, guys? Is your thoughts? Not too many people know that the 21's average is just over 18 years of old. Yeah, 100% sim. So anyway, I don't know. Thomas Frank? Interesting story. What do you think? I want to hear from you, Mark Davis. What do you think about Thomas Frank to potentially manage United? Do you think that's a good idea? my thought is, I don't know. Unproven. Unproven. Anyway, let's move on. Stephanie Griffith, please like and subscribe to this video. 100%. We normally don't go live today at 11:30, but since it's a game day, and we want to talk about the news. Later on, we're going to do the match preview. The watch along and the sort of highlights as well. So yeah, what you say here? Would Thomas Frank improve the players at United? Yeah, but it all depends on guys, because it's all down to coaching, right? I don't think we have proper coaching staff, because I've said it in numerous podcasts that when Ten Hag came on board, he was only allowed to bring in 4 people, and the rest of the coaching staff goes all the way from Jose Mourinho. They haven't been replaced. So you have Benny McCarthy, set pieces coach, the defensive coach, the goalkeeper coach, and yeah, I think for a goalkeeper coach, I think Onana should keep his own goalkeeping coach in some sense. And when it comes to attacking, we lack, like, you've seen how, the rawness of Garnacho, he's kind of stagnated. He's not really getting coached. Kobe Maino has also stagnated since he had that spell and cameo coming back after the 3 lines. So we need a little bit of a coaching. We need better coaching staff. So if you bring in a manager like Thomas Frank or whatever, you need to bring in the whole new coaching staff and entourage as well. So big up, Mark Nurse is finally made it. How you doing, Mark? Wie geht's?
Big up, everyone. Es geht es gut. Alles
Alles gut?
Gute. Just it's been Maka sport. Yes,
Listen, I'm very tall. Look, can you raise yourself up a little bit?
Should we go?
Yeah, there we go.
Big up. Just to add to what you were saying there, I think it's very interesting the way we operated compared to other professional clubs when they brought in a coach with a different play style. They brought in the systematic coaches that fit that play style as well. And Eric Ten Hag was not allowed that option. So you can see why there are some difficulties and then some, miscommunication between like set pieces and, the attacking coach and the defensive coach, because these guys, they're not able to coach attack or set pieces or defense for the expansive style. They were specialized in counter-attacking football, like what we were doing under Oli and Jose, that kind of pragmatic style. So for me, it's really weird. And then, I would also say that, maybe they might be good coaches. At the same time, the team has been going through a collective tough season, so it's going to be hard for you to see like the highlights of the coaching that went into some of the young players like Kobe Mainu and Garnacho in the squad. They're still going to have that learning curve that they have to learn and adjust, make mistakes and these kinds of things. So
yeah, but Thomas Frank, in a way, he operates on a shoestring budget. He brings in academy players into his team as well, so he probably would be a good fit. I mean, I never thought about it before, but what do you think?
I think he's a rubbish coach.
Rubbish
I
coach.
would never link him to Man United. I mean, no offense to him or anything like that, but coaches like Thomas Frank, I think those guys are just hipsters, and I think they will do well at mid-table clubs because they have no pressure.
Yeah.
You can see by his season that he's not even gotten into the top 10 this season, and he doesn't even have any pressure to win. You bring a manager like that to Man United where he has the onus on him to win games from match day 1, he's probably going to get relegated or finish in the bottom of the table, just like what happened to Harry Potter a few months ago.
Yeah. Potter was also one of the hipster coach, like De Zerbi as well. I class De Zerbi as well. It was a hipster coach, but if you look at his results this season, horrendous. Like, you know what I mean. I want to hear your thoughts about the under-18s as well. They won the Premier League yesterday.
Wow,
I didn't watch the game though, but
an amazing group of youngsters. And when I say amazing, I'm not saying that they're all world beaters, but I'm saying their mentality, their effort, the determination, the way they came together as a squad. Because some of them this was their first season in the under 18s as well. Lots of them, I think it was 7 of them, were moved up from the under 15s last summer. 2 of them came into the club last season in coming to the end, like a Harry Mask coming in from Watford. So it was a collective effort from the squad. There are lots of talent in there. There's a talented striker. There are 2 talented midfielders. There's a talented winger. There's lots of talent in defense. I think it's the way forward. It's the future for Manchester United.
yeah, 100%.
I'm not going to say it's the class of 92, but I'm pretty sure that guys, you go in the next 18 months, you're going to see at least 7 or 8 of those faces playing in our team, whether they're coming off the bench or
Yeah.
starting like Kobe Manu and Kwambala.
You can already see on the bench who might be the potentials. Like, we saw at the bench against Arsenal, like, as kids. But, the way we can honor this victory yesterday is by fireworks. Congratulations, under 18s, for becoming the champions of UK as well. Premier League championship. Let's go fireworks, right? Let's do this.
Big moment for the lads. They never dropped their head. They had a weird Champions League situation in the youth league. I think they were treated really unfortunately by UEFA. I think Manchester United's board needs to look into the way that the club was treated in certain situations. I mean, they sent these youngsters to play in Galatasaray in a thunderstorm where the field was like 7 to 8 inches of water, and you could literally swim from one end to the other on a side of the
Yeah.
field, literally backstroke. So I think that was
Yep.
unfortunate. They allowed that game to go on. There was no, every time United took a shot that passed the goalkeeper, it bounced right in front of the goal and it stopped there in a giant puddle. It was like about 7 times. We could have been up 7-0 before the first half, but
Yeah. Mark, question. Have you ever been to Canada and visited Niagara Falls?
Nah, yeah, I have been to Canada. I've visited Niagara Falls. That was like about 7 or 8 years ago when I was going to school in the States. One of my best friends from class, he lives in Ontario.
Yeah. I have good news for you, man. You don't have to travel that far anymore. You can just visit Old Trafford. You get Niagara Falls.
But I mean, you're gonna get the Trafford Falls. You know what I mean? It stands something like what I think it was 50 meters above ground level, and
Yep.
it comes down at a force of 25 miles per hour. It's gonna be a good washout if you're looking for the races.
No, maybe we just call it like Old Trafford Water Park,
Yeah, I
water
mean,
theme park.
the theater of
Yeah.
streams is what they've been saying online, and it's fitting that this happened at the end of a season where this really culminated the 10 years of madness that we've been doing as a club. I'm not just saying,
Mm.
like, we spent a lot of money, guys. Let's not be mad at that, but at the same time, spending a lot of money and spending money wisely is two holistically different things. And we spent money terribly. We've kept some players too long. We've had some terrible guys in the executive region. And I would say this now: if this new structure works, that goes to show that despite the owners, as long as you have brilliant people in their job doing the right thing, what's best for the club, it's going to be successful.
Yeah. Big up Nick T as well. No matter who the manager is, we need a massive clear out and players with the right attitude brought in 100%. He's a big fan of McKenna, but I want to see how he fares with Ipswich in the Prem, 100%. Which going to then transition over to the next story, Mark. We saw Rafael Varane emotional video upload saying goodbye to the fans. I love Rafa, the Rolls Royce. He's our best defender, but injury prone, and for me that it's a clear out on the wrong direction in a certain ways. I can understand he's like on a 17.6 million a year, and that saves a lot of wages. But we've seen also Casemiro, which is on 18 million point six something a year. Most likely we're going to get some money for him in the Saudi. 40 million probably, and that's a massive clear out, right?
Massive.
But I want to touch base on another one, which is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Apparently this might be the bid farewell at Old Trafford today. Like, this might be his final game. Mark, you agree?
I
Do you
agree.
reckon?
I think it's a good decision by the board. I think these announcements, and I'll just say this, guys, like I'm a huge fan of Manchester United. But there are some players, their determination, their commitment to the club over the years, you have to give them that respect. And while Rafa might not have a great season this season, while he might be injury prone, I think he's one of those guys that wore our shirt with pride, and I have to respect him. Big up to him. Thank you for your service, and I wish you the best. And I think with the signal that you're seeing right now, with the announcement of Rafa, this issue with Casemiro, you're hearing this about Aaron Wan-Bissaka. This is something that we've not seen before, unless these players were leaving on free.
Yeah. No, he's got 1 year left on his contract, apparently. So it's set to believe, reports are set to believe that he's, this is from Strategy News, Good. Big up Dale, big up Strategy News. You know, I write for them as well. So I just want to give them a massive shout out. They are amazing. Go visit Strategy News, and also go visit mufcrealist.tv for latest news and updates and everything. But he's said to believe that he says, I remember Saka looks to set his final game at Old Trafford as Manchester United play on tonight. The fullback has 1 year left on his current contract, which means that this summer United last real chance to cash in on a 26-year-old. After leaving Crystal Palace in 2019, I think it was a fee for 45 million euros. He's been okay. Like, he hasn't been the best going forward, but he's been developing his game. But I think he's 1v1 has even dropped off this season. He used to be the spider legs, he's been suspect in many situations, like guarding the back post and stuff like that. So I think ever since Christmas, he has actually regressed.
I think Wan-Bissaka has been regressing for the last 2 seasons now. When he came in, I think his effort levels were through the roof. He was one of the most proactive players in the squad. I think his 1v1 is still up there with the best in the league, but I think his effort levels, maybe it's he's not motivated. Maybe he feels jaded for some reason or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but I was one of those fans that would have sold Wan-Bissaka since 21-22 season, because I don't think he's got the drive mentally to play for Manchester United. He's a good player, very good in the one-on-one, but his defensive game has always been weak. He gives the defenders too many chances, too much space, and it allows them to pick their passes into the box, thereby, scoring goals and creating assists, cutbacks, and these things. So, I just think that, if we were to be getting someone, it's okay to let him go. I think he was developing a lot last season, but maybe because of competition, I don't know if it's something like Anthony Martial, when he gets competition, he starts dropping off. Like, he needs to be known. He needs to know that he's the number one. And unless he knows that, then I think his game drops. And I don't like that for a player. You know what I mean?
Yep. Listen, at the end of the day, guys, if you're watching and tuning in, please hit that like button, please, and let us know what you think in the chat. Do you agree? Aaron Wan-Bissaka should be sold. I certainly think so, because we've been linked to Jeremy Frimpong, which is a much, much, much aggressive, bombing forward, a wingback. So, I mean, barring that they want to play more expensive football next season, meaning possession-based, Frimpong is the answer. How you overlap, and linking up with whoever's going to play on the right, maybe an Elise.
Frimpong is mentality monster. You ever hear his quotes? He's always talking about Cristiano Ronaldo is the example that he wants to live by. Ultimate professional. Work hard. Work harder. If you're not going your way, work even harder. Keep your head down. Play football.
Listen, yes, Taylor coming in here. More need to go than Aaron Wan-Bissaka. That's my opinion. Listen, more will go. We've done numerous podcasts of this. I published an article regarding this, and people are picking up. Even Swedish Rumble said, "FFP, my bots. We can have up to 500 million to spend if we do this summer properly." You look at players that's got 1 year left on the contract, they pretty much fizz them out. You look at the wage bill, because the wage bill is part of the operations and FFP. But then if you get some sell-on values, you will sell them, right? Mm-hmm. If you want to play possession-based football, then Marcus Rashford doesn't fit your style. So they will look at everything. At the end of the day, nobody's really safe. Only the kids. And Bruno Fernandes was also a speculation rumor that he was going to go. But, I think Ten Hag debunked that very quickly yesterday in his presser as well, to say, no, he's a valuable squad member. He's not going anyway. What's your thoughts?
Maybe if it was linked to a Real Madrid or Man City or Bayern Munich, I might believe it. But when you're telling me Saudi, you need to sit back as a fan and realize that as much as Saudi's got the money, if you look at Bruno Fernandes, he's one of the best players in Europe, if not the best CAM. In international football, there's no one better than him. KDB compared to him in international football is like comparing, Declan Rice with Casemiro on current form. It doesn't work. You know what I mean? So Bruno is one of the most talented midfielders I know. I think he needs a lot of intelligent players around him and hard workers like him that feed off his energy, like you see in Portugal. But if he has to go, then he has to go. I mean, I'm a huge Bruno fan, but I'm a huge Man United fan first.
Yeah,
and I'm all for the club being better.
Yeah, so I agree what Gas is saying. Like, a lot of people have to go, but it's too unrealistic in one window to get rid of, like, 15 players or seven. If you can get rid of 9, 10, you look at, Casemiro, Ericsson will go. He's on high wages. He's on
Hmm
250 a
hmm
week. Instantly and you get some money for Casemiro. Instantly, you raised up to 100 million there already. You know what I mean? And plus those high wages. Harry Maguire, will he stay? Will he leave? Like, and he's got 2 years left on his contract. You're not going to sort of extend his contract, you know.
hmm
And those who has 2 years left on his contract, they might just stick with them or try to sell them. But those with 1 year, or, like, they would just fizz them out or try to at least sell them, right?
I
But because otherwise you have to extend another year on the contract, which means another burden, which we have done in the past, agreed. And then, of course, you're going to get money for Jadon Sancho, which is on 250 a week as well. So there's a lot of things that could be done. And, I'm just excited to see, the way they're going to handle this summer window, because I've been told it's going to be very busy, especially on the outs. And we're looking to bring in approximately 5 to 7 ins as well. And part of that is Tossin as well, which I've been listening to. If you didn't know Tossin from Fulham, like, now we have Varane out. Tossin is a very good, talented fullback. He's from the Mancunian area. He's from Manchester, and a lot of players, a lot of clubs are looking for free bargains, and he's a free agent, so that will cost you nothing, Mark. Right
hmm
now, what is the advantage? So we Newcastle are heavily sniffing at him to say, we want you. Of course, you're free. And United is also looking and say, we also want you. But you know what? He's a Mancunian, Manchester
hmm
United fan. And guess what? The interlink is here.
Oh, Samuel.
Guess what the
Jason
advantage?
Wilcox. Jason Wilcox.
Ah, bingo. Wilcox. Why? Tell us.
Jason Wilcox was one of his coaches in the U team when he was coming through the system. I think it was at either Newcastle or something like that in like about 8
Also
years ago
City as
or
well.
something
Yeah.
like that.
City
Yeah,
as well.
City as
City
well.
Group. Yeah.
Yeah, I see George Vukas is saying we're talking about a right back when we need a left back, but don't forget there's Alvaro Fernandez coming back from loan, and he said he was reported as saying that, I was told by the hierarchy at Man United to go out, get experience, and come back and fight for a spot in the starting 11. So maybe he comes back in, because I definitely think you're going to hear some reports about Luke Shaw being moved on this summer as well. And maybe we go get another left back. They've been looking at this youngster from Barcelona. He's 19. His name is Mikhail Fai. He's rumored to be costing somewhere in the region of 20 to 23
Yeah.
million
Yeah.
euros.
This
And
is
he's
something that United are looking at, maximum 25 million euros for a youngster.
and if you want to know, he was voted the best young defender in AFCON this summer. He's been in really good form.
Barcelona play, you
Yeah,
said?
Barcelona player. Yeah,
Yeah, now of course that makes sense because we have good ties and relationship because you saw before Murtagh left, he was there speaking to who is for sale. This is our place for sale, so they already know they established a
the
relationship,
Deco.
yeah, and therefore there came the question regarding Ronald, what's his name, Ariejo as well,
Ronald Araujo. Yeah,
yeah, because they want to sort of. I mean, Barcelona is in a financial mess. They want to sort of they want to sort of extend his contract. They gave him an ultimatum 4 weeks, but on a lesser wage. Same thing with Frankie De Jong. They want to offload, but I think that Frankie De Jong, that saga's already floated away, right? He was a key part of the way that Ten Hag wanted to play, but I don't know. It will be a very interesting summer, mate. It will be
Yeah,
very
no, I
interesting.
mean, you have to look at the situation. There's some players coming back from loan, like Dango Jr. There's Palestri coming back. There's a lot of options that are going to be
I think
available.
Leicester will be sold.
Maybe I think he might as well. I think we're in for a shock this summer in some decisions on some players because it's one of those things where you have to sit back and just be open to what's going to happen in the summer. There's going to be some players that come in that may not be that big name that you were expecting, but
Mm.
don't put them to the side because remember, we want to get these players coming into their second contract. Those are willing to fight and run through brick walls to make a name for themselves. So don't be surprised if you get one or two names like a Mark Guerhi that you weren't expecting. Might be coming in, and an Anselmino that we talked about earlier, the youngster from Argentina. So
Yeah.
they're also looking at Laurent, Louis Guilherme as well, and
Mm.
Oscar Zambrano. they have been recently talking to him as well.
Cool. Oh well, that's interesting, man. I mean, in terms of, I mean, we also have Alvaro Fernandez. Like, there's going to be a decision made for that as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of differences that come into the squad, lots of variables. When you look at what's going on in the summer, it's a different preseason to what we had last season, where we had a youth team and we had a senior squad. This season is one team. And every single player, their mission is to make a name for themselves into the squad as a squad player or as a starting player for the start of the season. Those players who are not available due to Copa America or the Euros, well, they're going to have to come back and fight for their place, basically, most of them. There might be one or two of them who might get that starting position because of, maybe it might be a Bruno, maybe it might be a Martinez, but the rest, maybe Garnacho comes in as a starter, but the rest are going to have to fight for their places. And I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah. What do you guys reckon in the VR room? I reckon, like, Alvaro Fernandez. We should. I mean, we shouldn't cave in for Benfica. You know what the Portuguese clubs are? They buy them on the cheap. They slap on a release clause, and whoopsie daisy, 100 million all of a sudden, right? And they buy them for 6-7, right? So why should we do that for pure FFP, right? We need a youngster, like, we why pay 25 when you have Alvaro Fernandez? Plus, you also have Harry Amas as well, right? Yeah, Harry
And
Amas.
this is why it might be key that, Fernandez might be one of the players to consider that might be in the starting lineup next season. He's been out on loan for an entire year. He's had a good spell in Spain. He's had a decent spell in Portugal. So like that experience is going to bring him a lot of wealth. And Harry Amas is very talented. He can be the backup for the backup. Maybe play all the Carabao Cup games. Maybe even get some games in the last group stage game if we make it to the Europa Cup, Europa League final, Europa League or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. To be
Yeah,
fair.
100%, 100%. But at the end of the day, like, if you speak about Tyrell Malacia, I have a nasty gut feeling that his career is over.
I don't know. I don't know. Like it's a shame. Like everyone's asking about this guy and he's been injured. Like we all know he got a bad injury last season, right? And he's doing what he's supposed to do, come to the medical, do your therapy, work on it, bide your time, be patient. And the mistakes of the medical department this season
Oh yeah,
has been
and that's
unreal.
that's going to be looked at. That's going to be totally overhauled as well with the coaching stuff and everything. At the end of the day, toss in to United. Would you take it?
I would take Tossin, but I feel like we need to confirm the defenders that we're moving on. I think we definitely need to get rid of Luke Shaw. Most importantly, I think he's for what it's worth, I know a lot of people like Luke Shaw, but I think he's at fault for most of the problems that we have in defense and in the dressing room. I don't think he's one of those players that
But
you know
when he plays, he's absolutely scintillating when he's on form. But I just remember every time he plays for a new contract. So how many years does he have left on his contract?
I think he has one more year with an extension. Maybe it's possible, but like for me, the problem with Luke Shaw is that there are some games he plays well, and there are some games he can't be asked. And if you look at last season where we had that spell where we kept conceding a lot of goals in the late in the game, it was always because of Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire.
Yeah,
And I think it's
100%.
time. These all these players who have these purple patches and have these moments where they look like they don't feel like playing. It's time to get rid of them. A player should
Yeah,
not play because they like a manager or they don't. They should
yeah.
play every day because they play for the club and the
No, I
fans.
agree with you. I mean, you should look at how many sickness notes. I mean, if you go to the work, like if you have 50% absentee, like see you later, cut ties. Mental ball game. Big up to you, saying we're not selling Shaw. None is going to buy him on the wages with his injury record, so he might well have Alvaro as a backup. He'll play a lot of games. Well, if there is a will, is a way. I think, like as a player, if you're on 250 a week, you can't really force them out. But if you say that you're not going to play you anymore because of your injury record, dude, um, it's time. And like there's so many youngsters coming out that you're blocking the development, and
Don't
and that comes to understand why the club sort of said part ways with Rafael Varane because of his injury record. So you want to have, centre backs and defense that are fully fit. Because a
100%.
world class team, according to me, every legendary team or world beating team has always had one thing, a common denominator, and that is a world class defense. You
And
know,
availability. And
and ability and availability. Yeah.
don't be surprised to hear Luke Shaw go to Saudi Arabia, because I'll be honest with everybody. I don't know if people is look at injuries and they don't pay attention to the type of injuries, but he has a stage 2 to stage 3 muscle atrophy in his calf.
Yeah. And the
And
Saudis, they don't mind because Saudis, they just want to have the PR. Right?
the
Okay, we have
PR,
all
and
this. Yeah.
like,
Varane, Miro
for Luke
Shaw,
Shaw, for his career, for himself, for his future, he might not be able to play at this level anymore.
So
Because
you might argue to the point that, Mark, that Saudis kind of been the savior for the graveyard. Like, they saved Chelsea last season,
they
and
might save
now they're
us.
coming in, taking out Varane, and they making a bid for Casemiro, 35 million. Here you go, plus the wage bill of 18.
Like the Jamaican artists say, we gotta hope and
Hope
pray that
and
they come
pray.
and that they come and save us, because we need to get some players moved on, and we need to get some money for them realistically. Like a
Yeah,
lot of people.
realistically, like, Simpson is saying, yeah, same as Rashford. He's got 4 years left on his contract. But if you have 4 years left on his contract, that is money in the bank.
Mhm.
You can easily say 100 million, 100 million,
Yeah,
right?
true, but
Mbappe goes to, I don't know where the hell he's going, if he's going to Real Madrid but they're going to look for a replacement. They know they're looking at Rashford,
of course,
100 million,
I
and they
being
can play it.
honest. I don't know about anybody, but anybody telling me they would sell Rashford for anything more than 60 million being disingenuous. Rashford has not shown that type of form over the last 5 seasons. The only one season you could have get that was last season. That's because he scored 30 goals plus.
Yeah.
He's never done that before.
Yeah. Here's the thing,
So,
right? Mark Davis, here's a different flavor for you. Mark Davis saying, who's in charge of United, Ineos or Glazers? The Glazers have 60% of the shares. But it looks like the Ineos consortium is totally dominating at the moment, because the good part is that Glazers don't have any say in the footballing operations and sell and keep, because the way we used to operate was we sold Cristiano Ronaldo, we never replaced Cristiano Ronaldo. It just went into the Glazers' pocket, right? But no more, because now we are going to operate as a proper club. You sell, you buy. You sell, you buy. So I hope
100%.
that answers your question.
We
But still,
definitely need to sell properly. We need to be very creative in this window, guys. Like,
yeah. Big up, Lord Voldemort. This is echoing what we're saying. Glazers taking a backseat, 100%. They have, and they're taking off the pressure and the heat on themselves, and definitely put it on the Ineos consortium. But they're still stinking up the club. I don't think it will be long enough until they're gone, because if you look at debt to equity, you're looking how we are going to build the stadium that's going to come up from Ineos' pocket or some sort of funding, and that equity turns into Class B shares. So eventually they're going to fizz out.
I can tell, man, this from the way things look. Do not forget the reports that said that they were planning with Ten Hag for the summer. I don't think Rafael Varane. I mean, if you look at how it's looking like by the time we play City, 5 to 6, 7 players are going to be walking out of this door.
Yeah.
And the reality of
Matter,
that is probably have been
yeah,
already decided what they're gonna do with the manager going forward, like a
yeah,
month ago. That's how I feel about it,
yeah.
to be honest.
So big up everyone for tuning in. Madhouse is coming in to say we will get 40 million for Greenwood, though. Would we? Mark, 40 million for Greenwood.
Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time.
I
Like,
know you're
I
the
don't,
biggest
no,
advocate
I
of
just
it,
go
Mark.
around and ask everybody this one question, and I want everybody to be honest, right? You're going to sell Mason Greenwood for 40 million to pay 60 million for Michael Olise, who's half the player. He
Yeah,
has a
true.
left foot only. Greenwood right
Doesn't make
foot is
sense.
twice as good. His left foot is
He's
twice as
Green.
good.
He's 2-footer, Greenwood. From a footballing operation side, doesn't really make sense. Like, you already have somebody that's on the book that's twice better than Olise. I like Olise, but the question is, would Greenwood come back?
I
And this is
mean,
the
I
thing,
don't know.
because he
That's the
knows.
problem.
Hang on a second, hang on. Let me finish my sentence. He knows, why would he commit suicide to come back and be slated?
True.
Right?
That's the
He's got a
problem.
he's got a baby. He's got married to what's the name? Not married. Are they married?
Engaged.
engaged, yes. So they moved on in life. They're enjoying life overseas. Probably they're looking, and the reports what's saying at the moment that Manchester United are willing to listen to offers because it's pure profit. But if they don't get what they want, minimum 45 million pounds, they will take him back in the summer for the preseason. Anyway, they got to take him back anyway for preseason training. So we will see
Yeah, I
Mason.
mean, like, people say that he'll be crucified in England. Like, I don't know. I was in Spain a few weeks ago. I went to a game, and in my opinion, it's not different in Spain. The stadiums are around the same size, the fans are similar, and they've been chanting, the chants. I mean, look at the game against Real Madrid where he played against Jude Bellingham with the situation with Bellingham. And, we always talk about we want players with mentality, with drive.
Yeah, yeah,
After
okay.
18 months out of football, look at his performance this season.
Yeah.
That's all you need to
We
say.
will see. There's a lot of questions that needs to be answered, and in a few weeks' time, we will know the answer. 100%, 100%. Big up Welsh Girl 68. Eric Ten Hag needs another year. The new structure can do anything in one season. Exactly. It will take you approximately 12 months until you sort of establish everything. Everyone gets warm into the clothes, and yeah. But that transitions over to the next story, by the way. And this was an article that I picked up. Let me just share it with you guys. Um, Let me just bring it up. Yeah, hang on a second. So basically, it's a report that I just picked up this morning from a publication that is footballtransfers.com. There's a lot of good journalists that write for this publication, but it says Manchester United to make contact with surprise Ten Hag replacement, and that is none other than Kieran McKenna. Now, if I want to sort of browse quickly through this article, um, saying that Manchester United are taking concrete steps to replace Eric Ten Hag, with the Premier League giants having made contact with Ipswich manager Kieran McKenna. This is coming from The Guardian, though, which describes that McKenna is a surprise candidate for the job. Reports that Manchester United hold the 38-year-old in high regard after spent 6 years on the coaching staff at the club before moving to become the Ipswich manager in 2021. He's then gone, taken it from Division One to the Championship and to winning to be promoted to the Premier League. Now, of course, they are not looking for a manager role now. It's basically they just want to have a head coach. So, Mark, is it too early, or I mean,
I mean,
from a United legend that's done well as a coach, this makes sense. They understands, and he plays quite expensive football as well at Ipswich.
it's interesting. I would say that, but I would say that a lot of people forget that Mitchell van der Gaag is probably leaving at the end of the season to go to Ajax. So maybe we might be looking for an assistant manager that could possibly take over in the future if need be necessary. You know what I mean? But I don't think we would hire McKenna this soon. I think they would wait and see how he fares this season to see, what he does, how he does, how the team performs.
Yeah.
It's always good. It's always good to see these young managers coming up, doing well, coming through the ranks, League One, League Two. But let me not forget, League Two, the championship is not even at the same level as the Dutch league. It's not at the level of
No,
the French.
true.
So
I'm just
it's
gonna
going to
go
be
to the
a
comment section.
difference.
Let me just go to the comment section. No chance McKenna, a club is in a mess. He'd fail before he starts. But you still Welsh girl, big up. But still, you have a new structure above you, all the support. But my opinion on this, I like McKenna. I like what he's done. Um, he was stepping in when Ollie got sacked as an interim, but he got his ranks by going to a lower league to Ipswich and he got experience. But I think he needs 1 or 2 more years in the Premier League. So stay where you are,
100%.
McKenna, and we can assess you based on that. And the way it's going, you never know if Thomas Tuchel's going to swallow his pride, but there's no other manager out there. And Thomas Frank, no. I think what we always been saying here it's that Ten Hag has 1 year left on his contract. They planning to stick with him in the summer window. They're going to see how we go, and if it doesn't work with 1 year, they have a successor in plan. And that is
100%.
Javi Alonso.
Lord Voldemort, you make this comment here, my bro. Big heart shout out to you, my brother, because Sometimes the grass is not always green on the other side. And sometimes you're standing over a lake with a bone, looking at the reflection, thinking, yeah, you want that other bone too. And what happens when you drop the bone? You're never going to get it back because it's sinking to the bottom of the lake. Guys, we have to really be careful on what we're doing because we have been, sometimes I know we have an expectation. I know it's Manchester United and I know we feel like we should be finishing top four this season.
Yeah,
Sometimes
100%.
mistakes happen, shit happens, things go
Should have.
wrong, things go left. Sometimes it's beyond your control. Sometimes you can't control all these situations,
Yeah,
but it could turn around.
it
If
could
you
turn.
lots of the biggest success stories in the world started from zero, and they went through trials and tribulations like you would not believe.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not just linear, guys. Be a
All
little
right.
bit
It's not
patient.
linear. Boxing straight talk. There's a big difference of winning the league and getting promoted to Prem than actually taking over a giant. 100%. Guys, so many of you watching. Please appreciate if you can do us a favor. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't liked the video, do it now. Over to the next story, by the way, which I want to talk to you about, and there is no other than Benjamin Sesko, of course. Um, I did an exclusive article to say that United are looking at two strikers at the moment, not two to buy in two strikers.
Mhm.
There's either one, either the other. One is a more of a younger up and coming that is like for Hoyland, that could rotate and could challenge Hoyland, because for me Hoyland should never had this opportunity, this window to be the first striker. He wasn't bought in for that to carry the world on his shoulder. He's still developing, young. So of course, and the other choice is to have a more 26-year-old up and coming or already established one. And the two targets are Gyökeres for 100 million, right? This is how ridiculous it is. You know, he went from Coventry on 20 million to the Portuguese league, and you know what to do? Slap a release clause, 100 million, right? But this guy is sick. He's bagged in 41 goals, 16 assists this season, right? And then you look at Benjamin Sesko as well. He's been doing okay, right? So the release clause of Benjamin Sesko is around 42 million pounds, I believe so. But something was weird. Something was off yesterday, because then I was somehow stumbled across Goldbridge. I never watched him, but he was saying all this, and no, it's 70 million according to Christian Falk. That's not true. Did you also hear that, Mark?
Yeah.
That is not true. It's not 70 million. No way, Jose. Unless
But
they've done an alteration, but it's always been 42 million pounds.
Christian Falk did say that, right? But
Did say
Plettenberg
different.
said differently. Plettenberg said 43 million
Yeah, but the
max.
thing is, Falk is credible only when it comes to buying stuff, right? And who else is more credible than Falk when it comes to German football? Jan Åge Fjordhoff, right? And Plettenberg, yeah? So, when it comes to buying news, I kind of listen to Falk, but when it comes to like this waffle, like 70, I know personally it's 42 million. So anyway, just want to debunk that story as well, Mark. Um, but I just want to ask you, Mark, if we do have all of a sudden 400, 500 million, right, to spend in the window, if we do things right, what would you do? Would you bring in a proven striker and let Hoyland develop and learn from? Or would you just get a similar, like, because I see the risk with Benjamin Sesko. I love him to pieces, but we need a more of a finish article as well, a clinical goal scorer.
You see, for me, the problem is there isn't a finished article out there that I mean, people might say Harry Kane. Harry Kane is very good. I think he disappears in big games. So I would not even look at him because we are a big team and we're going to be playing big games and he's never going to show up, So I'd forget him immediately.
Yeah.
Ivan Tony, for me, I can't, I would never be able to trust him as a player and feel like I could depend on him to do his best because he's bet against his own teams multiple times.
Yeah.
So he's out of the door. I would then now look at what options it have. I think Gyökeres looks really good, very,
Oh yeah,
very good, talented,
it's amazing.
very ferocious in the way he plays, aggressive, and he's physical and very quick, very decisive. I like him. 100 million, I would stay away from the 100 million because we can't
No, but
afford that right now in
I
realism, no matter
understand.
what.
I understand that the club is talking and negotiating, and you can construct the deal in many, many ways. Just because it's 100 million, it doesn't mean it's 100 million upfront. You can do an installment plan of 5 years, right? But you can also offer certain players, like you can offload, like Victor Lindelof to Portugal, like to Sporting Lisbon or something like that, or offer one of our wingers or strikers as well, like part of the deal.
I
So
mean,
if they have identified this is one of our main guys that can bag in goals, right? And transition from the Portugal league to the Premier League is not that huge because if you look historically, every player that came from the Portugal league have been successful
I mean,
almost
in
in
a
the
way,
Premier League. But if you look at Eredivisie player, German players, they fail.
I mean, in my honest opinion, I look at it from the perspective we need a bit of more quantity and quality than just pure quality right now, because we need to have backups for the backups, because
Yeah,
if we go buy two defenders, we still need to buy a third in the center back area. So we need to at least spend 200 million and get 6 to 7 players for that money. We can't afford to spend 300 million and only get 5 players. That makes no sense this season.
no,
I know
100%.
Victor Gyökeres is amazing, but his price is too much, and giving a player out might not really be the ideal situation for us when we need players for backup, because as we've seen this season, we had so many injuries. We have no defenders available. We need to buy players and buy a backup for them at the same time. So, in my honest opinion, we should buy two DMs. We should buy three centre backs, buy a
Yeah,
left back, buy a striker, and probably promote a striker from the academy. So we have three
Nathan
strikers.
Whitley is there, yeah, but he's still young as well. So you can't have three young strikers. According to my opinion, I mean, I would, if I had a choice between Gyökeres and Sesko. I know I've been obsessed about Sesko for 18 months. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
but I would go for Gyökeres. To be honest, I would, and I would sort of construct the deal in a good way, depending on if you have money, right? Because I want Sesko to still, I mean, sorry, Hoyland to still have some form of development. You know,
Yeah, I
he's
mean,
there. But anyway, that's just my opinion at the end. So we will see. We will see, 100%. But in order to have a proper striker, we need to build around the striker as well, not like we
definitely.
have now. And
This
and the ironical thing is, the difference is that now we have a proper footballing operations that's done the scouting, as what you said about we can have got him from 18 million last year. But you know what? Our scouting department network was there. The piles of paper was sitting there. They didn't do anything. They just went for shirt sellers. So we need still a marquee signing.
Yeah, we need a marquee signing, but I feel like that could be the middle. We need to get the bulk done first. We need to bring in two center backs, bring in two midfielders immediately. After
Yeah.
we do, we kind of solve that problem in the sense that, okay, we bring in a starter and a backup for midfield. We bring in two starters, or a starter and two backups for defense, and then you bring Frimpong. Then you could say, well, okay, we have 150 million left from sales, whatnot, whatnot. Let's go get a marquee player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the most important thing is to get the other players and
I think
fill the squad with.
my understanding on that is the striker will come last in the transfer window. So they will focus on the back line and the midfield. And there is, if money left on the window, they will absolutely go for the striker. So there comes the crux there, because you know that Benjamin Sesko's release clause is active in the summer. Whoever activates it first, but it's not always who activates it first, because his agency is doing the runs, looking what is the best option, how much
Mhm,
wages are you going to pay, and they will take the best deal, right? So
100%. But
you
I,
snooze, you lose, like we did with Kim Min Jae. So that
mhm.
is the risk, right?
5 by 60, bro. Bro, we can't afford that. I don't know where this money coming from, bro, but 5 by 60. That's 400 million. We don't have that to spend, bro.
At 60 million each.
Yeah, so you multiply 8 by 60. We don't have that. We can't afford that. There's no way we could get 8 players at 60 million. That is an imaginary fairy tale, bro.
Yeah,
Being honest.
that's what Madhouse is going. Leave the cherry on the cake for last, Mick. Yeah, later, 100%, hundred percent.
We are probably going to spend 250 million without sales. With sales, it might rise to 350, 400. And we need to sell. Don't ever forget that. Mick was right 100% when he said we need to sell to buy. And this window, we definitely will spend 200 million. We're going to do
But
it.
I think that
But
Ineos,
more,
yeah, sorry, I think that they want to win quickly. They're not mugs. They just came over just like we want to compete. They've been sitting there watching these draws and say, I'm embarrassed. I
true.
am a stakeholder of this club, and I'm embarrassed, and I don't want to be associate. I want to be a winner because they're all winners. All of them are
True.
winners. They're
But
running fucking marathons. They're doing all the things like
true.
yeah. So
But here
they
the
have this
problem with that,
mindset.
Mick. Here the biggest problem that just impacted our transfer window for the next 3 seasons. You know what's the problem? That leak that everybody watch on social media, bro. That stadium now become our biggest problem to the transfer window.
Yeah.
So everybody who thinking we was going to spend 400-500 million, bro, just remember we are going to build a new stadium from next season. We are. I'm telling you from now, guys, be prepared. We are playing in Wembley from September. Mark my words on that one.
Yeah, hold your thoughts because I want to bring Nick T's message as well. Maybe Barada Wilcox and company will bring players that we don't expect. Similar what they did at City, like they bought very wisely for under 60, right? Remember when Wenger took over Arsenal, brought players that no one knew about and were household names afterward, and that is exactly what Ratcliffe was saying. We're not going to buy the Mbappe. We were looking to buy the next Mbappe. So that gives you a little bit
100%.
of a clue. Thomas Vegenes, big up to you. I'm not confident about this summer or what players to get since there's no director in football in place. There is a director in football in place, 100%. Wilcox is acting as a director of football in place. So,
And Barada starts in June, the second
mm,
week of June. So
yeah,
we'll be
yeah.
fine. We'll be fine,
So,
guys. We'll be fine.
how does the Ineos know what place to? Because they already identified the targets. They already have them since December. It's all ready there. Long list to short list. You have a tier. I know how
Yeah.
it works. So they
And
just have to go.
trust, guys, the fact that you're seeing so many reports about players leaving and the last game is tonight, like Wan Bissaka, like Varane. You might even hear that about Casemiro. That Casemiro last game is the FA Cup final. You might even and hearing these things, think back, guys. We've never done it like this before unless a player contract was already expired. So this has to be changed. They have to have probably set this months
Uh,
ago.
the proof will be in the pudding. We will be definitely surprised. But, since we are kept in the dark a little bit, we've seen glimpses of the light, a little bit of a light. But, I'm definitely very excited. Like a kid in Christmas when you're waiting to open your present. So I just want to unwrap this present and see what Santa brings to us. Anyway, guys, love you to pieces. We are playing a game tonight. And I've gone with my lineup here. This is what I think. You can see that up on the screen. Go build your own lineup as well on mufcrealist.tv. The link
And
is there
post it
as
in the
well.
comments, guys, on the community page. And Mick and I and Jarvis, we're all gonna react to it. Everyone can react to your post as well. Don't forget, and if you don't want to just post it on Mick's channel, you could also post it on mine as well. Have fun with it, guys. Go on mufcrealist.tv, make your team. Pick your squad, name your squad, post it on Twitter, and
Yeah,
let's
and
see
also
who's.
later, and later on, like vote for the man of the match to the player ratings where we do the highlight show. So you can go into the website as well. But anyway, this is my team selection, and this is also in, you know, I was weird. I was like, looking at what Steady News was picking, and I was like, "Oh, this is the same selection as me." Like, so I basically gone with Onana. I gone with Dalot. I gone with Evans. I gone with Kwambala and 100% Aaron Wan-Bissaka because the reason why I put Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right is because who? Anthony Gordon, right?
Yeah, but you know what, guys? The big man, Willie Kwambala. His performance on Sunday coming back from injury, guys, I have to say, this youngster, I'm excited about him. I saw a performance that was stalwart, strong, very competitive, very physical, and precise on Sunday. And I
Yeah,
think he's going to be staking a claim for a starting role. It's going to be a tough one.
it's going to be a tough one. Okay, so that is my back four, and it's instantly stable. Licha is apparently fit, but I don't think he will start. He will come off from the bench second half, I think. But
That's
in the
me.
midfield, I want to see the same. Sophie Amrabat as number six. I want to see a 4-3-3. I want to see Kobe Maino, and I want to see Bruno back in there as well to see what we can do. A little bit of a more creativity because Scott McTominay, he might be physical, and Newcastle are a physical team, But if you put Scott McTominay in, you don't have any creativity, right?
True.
Garnacho as a left winger, Hoyland in the middle, and Bram Amad Diallo needs to start.
Hmm.
He needs to start.
I would start
If
him
he's
too.
fit, though, if
I
he
mean,
got enough.
that's the next thing, bro. Like, like fans. I don't know about you guys, but at the end of the season, I think we Manchester United, not just Manchester United, but fans, we need to really look at what we have been accepting from these referees' decisions all season. Because not only for our players, but for players from other clubs, these injuries and the way they allow some players to make some challenges, but then they persecute others for even lesser challenges. I think we need to examine these things because Ahmad, you know, the guy just came back from injury. He was out for 6 months. He was sick for like 6 weeks with illness, at different stages. And, these players need to be more professional. Like, the players, the referees supposed to be more professional, supposed to protect some of these players. Because, some players just make some reckless challenges. And they can't go to ground in the box and make contact with a player. At least that I read the rule the other day. And if you
Yeah,
go to ground in the box and you don't
right.
get the ball alone, it's a foul, a penalty.
Yeah.
So
Fantastic. Listen, we're running out of time. We've gone a little bit of an extra time. VR has decided we're supposed to do 60 minutes, but we are on extra time and on Jesus. Yeah, we sorry, but when we talk football and news and team, we always get overexcited. But Ahmad needs to start, according to my opinion. Is he fit? What Jarle Malmin is saying, um,
yeah,
and David Main is saying, I want to see Ahmad starting. What I don't want to see is Anthony starting 100%, and I
I
think
think it
Anthony should
doesn't
be
matter
starting.
which one starts. To be fair, guys, like I think in the last 10 games, their performances have almost been like a parallel. Maybe one game Anthony was
No,
bad and he was better, but he had a bad game. I mean, right now, I think the competition between the two of them is really good, and it will develop them both.
okay.
That's what I look see.
Here's my thought. Here's my final thought on this. Play the team that you're planning to go out with at the FA Cup. Consistency, consistency, because of cohesion. Do you get my feeling? Do you get my point? Why
I
chop and change, chop
agree.
and change? You need to have a cohesion, right? So you might see. That's why I believe you will see Alicia come in here. You will see a Varane playing in the FA Cup as well, or Willa Kwambala.
Probably. I feel like, I would like to see them get minutes, but I don't want to see them start tonight, to be honest. You know what I mean?
No, no,
And
no, no.
and
But they will get minutes for sure, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. And David Menny, like, I know you think that and I know you think so, but if you look at the stats over the last 10 games in performance wise, Anthony's stats dwarf Ahmad's, to be fair, in the progressive
Well,
passes,
Ahmad hasn't get
chances
really much
creation.
chances, so you
I
can't really
mean,
go there, Mark. You can't
I
compare that.
could, in the sense that Ahmad and Anthony, the only difference is 15 minutes in amount of game time they've played since January. So you could argue 15 minutes doesn't make that much difference.
For me, Ahmad is a more fit Premier League player than actually Anthony. He did a fantastic loan spell at Sunderland as well, so he's got more of experience.
Yeah, it doesn't show
And
that because
if
his
you're going to
progressive.
keep, I mean, from a club perspective, you're going to see like, okay, how much is this guy costing me? Ahmad, we paid 30 million for years ago. He's not on a high wages. He's like maximum 10K a week. You
Mm,
look at Anthony. Oh, we paid 95 million for you. How much are we paying you? 250 a week. This is like a bumper contract, like 7 times more than he used to have at Ajax. And
true.
trust me, they definitely looked at everything and said,
Yeah,
either
man.
they're going to
I
cut the
just
losses.
saying, Mick. Like based on what the reality is that the difference in minutes of the two of them has played is like between 15 to 25 minutes
Yeah.
since January,
All right. Sorry, we
and
got to cut the. We've gone 3 minutes
it's
over time.
middle ground between them for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. We've gone 3 minutes over time. Mark, score prediction from your side.
If Anthony plays at left back tonight, which I was hoping to
Left
see, to
back.
be fair, I don't be mad at me for saying that. I think at left back he could bomb forward and still provide the role going up as a winger. And I would like to see him play as left back because I think at left back he looks very secure and comfortable. So if Anthony plays at left back tonight, we win 3-1, and the stream, we're gonna be good. It's gonna be a fun
Yeah,
show.
yep, yep, yep. Weather conditions. It might be Niagara Falls today, or you call it Old Trafford streams. I don't know. I don't know what the weather's going to be, but anyway, everyone that's going there, take care. Bring an umbrella or bring your swimming costume just in case as well,
Just in
because we
case,
might,
guys,
just in case,
get
we
your
might
life
have a theme park
vest,
there, water park there,
you know,
and water slides.
have a pack of balloons just in case of anything, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. It's been lovely to see you. We speak to you guys later as well. Just to recap what we spoke about Aaron Van Bissaka's potential last game at Old Trafford today. Potentially, will it be Eric Ten Hag's last game? I don't think so. We spoke about exits of Iran. We spoke about toss-in, transfer news, Sesko, a lot of things, and finally, Kieran McKenna. And we came to a conclusion: Kieran McKenna needs to stay up
Yeah.
in the Premier League at least to get more experience until we approach him. But anyway, fantastic. We guys should see you to the next video, and that will be pretty much after the game as well. So see you there, Mark, as well. Everyone, have a lovely afternoon.
See, it's been Mick. It's been Mark. You got the M&M show. We here. Hope you guys had a great time. Enjoy the evening, guys. It's match day. You know what I mean? Put a smile on your face. Sit down, hug up that person that you care about. Tell them,
Yeah.
you love them. And, enjoy the day. Watch the Manchester United game. It can't get any worse than this, guys.
It's the
We can
last
only
game
get
at Old
better.
Trafford.
It's the last game at Old Trafford for the season. Have a
And
good
then we
one.
can close the shop.
And then we can close the shop because we might go away to Brighton. You never know. We might win. Hopefully
All
Bruno
right.
comes up with some magic.
All
That's
right,
what
cut
I'm
the
thinking.
crap now. 6 minutes overtime, Mark. VAR referee blow the whistle. See you guys later. Bye for now. Ciao. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.